Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter at ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. Well, this week, folks, we got a couple of things to talk about in regards to your own growth into this business. I've been in this business for 11 years, and I have been teaching it now since 2009. So that's 6 years. And over the 6 years, we've seen thousands of people come through Local Marketing Source, and a smaller amount that have become members and moved on to become very successful at what they do. And there's quite a few little things of elements that I've learned. I've learned about my own audience, and I've learned about how to work with that audience and different individuals to get the most out of them. And so I want to share some of those thoughts today that I think are very, very important to help anybody achieve success in business. There's a reason why 90% of businesses fail. But in addition to that, I want to have a discussion about going old school with SEO, and that's manual link building, and why manual link building is never going to be obsolete. Now, you notice I'm using the terminology link building. I hate that word, or I hate that term. Just like SEO, it's a term that my business we're not an SEO company internally, but on the outside, the perception that we provide others, yes, we've got to position ourselves as SEO because we are in the service of getting businesses listed in the #1 spot of Google. But we definitely don't manipulate or optimize for search engines. So there's a couple of things that we're going to be talking about today. Before we get into that, how about a housekeeping item of the premium program that we have at Local Marketing Source? It has been so good. The progress of the students that have been in this program, you see, this was my seed launch. We wanted to test the effectiveness of it and whatnot. We just got one of the greatest testimonials for the program, and that's somebody, we've gotten so much value out of it. Scott, you don't charge enough, and I got to do this. I'm going to continue to do this because of the focus and accountability that you provide with that. And so we are opening the doors again to the Premium Agency Growth Group. The doors are going to open up at the end of this month. You're going to see a launch near the end of the month, and it's going to be a little bit more fun. We're opening up a little more seats than we did. We've got additional resources that we're throwing into the program to further help and further improve the program, and it's just fantastic. And so over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be sharing some stories. All the members, 100% of the members of the program have all agreed to share their story. They feel like that they have progressed so far in 60 days that they're pretty eager to share their story. So I want you guys to hang tight and listen to that. There's going to be some great things that you're going to get from it and what they've been able to leverage. And that's why I want to talk to you today about focus, accountability, and results. This is FAR, F.A.R., and it's far-reaching. But the elements of focus and accountability to get results is pretty profound. And it's interesting because you could take individuals from different cultural backgrounds, different education backgrounds, different experiences in this industry, all different facets. And yet, I look at my premium students, and the one thing that they all lacked was the accountability to themselves and the focus of the direction. Whether we're taking the guy that's making 20 grand a month already, or the high school teacher that has never learned an ounce of internet marketing, they all struggle with their challenges of trying to identify and getting themselves focused. Something as simple as printing a simple little plan out and having it available to you right to your right at all times is a massive psychological aspect to have your plan, it's your map. And it's like, if you don't have a map of where you're going, you're going to get lost. So why don't you have that of your business beside you, or at least try to create one? And people get so overwhelmed with this concept. They think, well, I'll just do this. And it's so easy to have those shiny objects and move off to something that is a little bit easier. But you've got to have your plan. And why don't people do that? That in itself blows me away, that you want to achieve something. I just polled our audience. We got 20,000 people on our list. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. I wish I did. But it was, there's some of them that I do remember. That 70% of people, they want to more than double their business in 2016. No, it was more than 80% of people more want to double their business. But 70% of people failed miserably to achieve their goals this year. 7 out of 10 people failed miserably. 9 out of 10 did not achieve their goals. Well, that fits in alignment with failure rates, doesn't it? But why? Why? And the common theme was, well, a lack of focus. The lack of direction. I don't know what to do next. There's so much to do. And so we're looking, when we start to get down to a detailed level now, for example, one student I was speaking with, and, we were trying to write some content, and he says, I'm getting concerned. I'm getting worried because I struggle a lot with writing content, and I just really don't know if I'm capable of writing content. And this business is built around writing content. I said, hang on a second. Pardon my cold. I'm a little sick here. I said, but hang on a second here. Don't tell me you don't know how to write content or you struggle with writing content. I said, now, I understand that you can hit roadblocks and there's obstacles that you've got, but you've got to identify what those obstacles really are, because you can write content. You've been writing content for your whole life. Everybody, if you are listening to me talk right now, you have created content in the past. Every job that you've gotten, every date that you've ever gone out on, you've had to create content to sell. Every time that you've wanted something from somebody or positioned it, or from a child, it doesn't matter. Whether you're out with your friends, whether you wrote an essay for school, whether you wrote an email, it's all content. All content is, all marketing is communicating. And it's like, I go back to my cereal box story. I was a kid, and I remember, I'll never forget sitting down at the breakfast table in the mornings and looking at the different cereal boxes and reading them. As I'm eating my cereal in the morning to go to school, and I think to myself, who comes up with these? How do they know what to put on the back of that cereal box? How do you know what to put onto that cereal box? It drove me nuts. Then I got older and I learned with marketing, all marketing is communicating a message and determining if it works. And if it does, you improve it. And so somebody might have been smoking some drugs one night and came up with Tony the Tagger. You wouldn't believe how many cartoons from the 70s are related to different types of drugs. That's why I bring that in there. But it's very likely a talking tagger, the way he is, that somebody was high on something. But they came up with an idea, they tested it, and kids liked it. And it worked. And it created a brand message, and they grew on that. They'll write something internally and then go to they'll share it to a few people internally, and if it resonates, then they'll bring it out to a market group, and if it that's the marketing process. But the idea of actually coming up with it is just making something up. And so I was talking to the student, he's like, I don't know how to describe this service. I said, well, let's simplify this. What you explain to me in your words, from you, who you are, to me, use swear words, use whatever you need to do, but talk to me in a dialogue that we're having just a conversation between me and you. And I want you to explain to me what SEO is for a chiropractor. Now, he works in a different niche. I'm not going to share that niche. I'll use my niche. But I asked him with his niche, and I said, what is SEO for a chiropractor? And he goes, well, it's a blah, 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 to create content, and blah, 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 my God, I'm falling asleep. And then he stops, he goes, see, I can't do it. And I just let him go. I said, no, hang on. Let's try this again. What are you trying to do for these chiropractors? Well, blah, blah. I said, stop. In the simplest form, what are you trying to do for these chiropractors? Well, I'm trying to get them more patients. Good. How are you trying to get them more patients? In the simplest way. Well, I'm trying to get them to #1 of Google. I said, so you wanted one paragraph to describe this particular service, and you just said it to me. Search marketing is the service to get more patients for chiropractic firms by being found #1 on Google. Boom. Your copywriting is done for that one section. And it comes from you and it's your own words. And he says back and he goes, oh, you're right. That was easy. I said, well, yeah. I mean, the problem is, in my opinion, is you guys listen to what I do. You guys listen to what other educators are doing and you try to replicate that. And what marketing effectively is it's not a boxed solution. It's a means of you communicating your style, your verbiage that you're comfortable with to get the message across. And that's the right way of doing it. You can replicate a lot of what others are doing, of course. But don't be afraid to think outside the box with your content and stay focused in regards to that with your plan. And accountability, I mean, accountability is tough. It's tough to hold yourself accountable. But there's a lot of ways to find accountability in your life. And if you feel like accountability is something that you are lacking even the slightest, maybe this might be a good change for you in 2016, is to find ways to hold yourself accountable to accomplish the goals that you've set out. Because if you don't have that in place, you're not going to get your goals. You're not going to hit them. I'll tell you right now. If you don't have accountability systems in place for yourself, you're not going to hit your goals in 2016. Right now. Even before you start, you're going to fail at it. And if you can't say to me, Scott, my system of accountability is this. I report to my wife my activity that I do, and I let her know the difference between my Monday morning plan and the activity that I achieved that week on Friday. Boom. You have a system of accountability in place. Good for you. But if you can't give me some form of a system of accountability, you're not going to achieve your goals. I'll tell you right now. And the last part of F.A.R is obviously results. Bob Parsons of GoDaddy says everything that can be measured and everything that is measured improves. It's true. So that's based off of your results and measuring different elements of activity and determining goals to achieve those, to hold yourself accountable, to remain focused in your objective. I want to move on to some manual link building and why, this is some discussion now. It's like our industry is doing a loop. And 10 years ago, it was very, very hard for me to have my discussions because the majority of the industry was all about keyword densities and anchor texts and link dynamic structuring. The list could just go on and on, all the different elements of SEO, but it really never talked about marketing. Well, when you hear somebody say manual link building, I could say real marketing. Manual link building and real marketing is the exact same thing. Let's go and take a look at marketing definition. I will put it up. And we're going to the AMA, which is the American Marketing Association. This is a group of people that come together and say, this is what it means. And they say marketing is the set of activities and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So in other words, marketing is the process. Marketing is the doing. Marketing is creating, okay? Creating content, all right? Communicating or delivering that content. In other words, getting it elsewhere on the internet that has value, which is, exchanging offerings that has value, okay? Getting an article printed on somebody else's blog or an article site or a newspaper site that has value for their customers, their clients, their partners, and society or prospects, okay? So if I get an article and it gets published in, Yahoo China, I'm only halfway there with marketing. I've created content, I've distributed it, I've communicated it, but I haven't put it in front of my target audience. So automated link building is going to get you links and exposure in areas where it's not in front of your audience. It's going to be in front of these China sites. Manual link building is actually communicating with the web host or the content creator itself and offering them. And so if you contacted the local newspaper and you said, listen, I've got an article for dentists and it's about gluten-free toothpaste. We just did this one. It was run in a big newspaper here in Chicago. So I know it's a worthy topic, and gluten-free is all the big rage right now. So for the dental world to get into it, and we contacted the local newspaper and said, listen, here's some warnings. One to come from a local dentist. Would you run this? Well, yeah. Well, now we're in front of their clients. We're in front of their partners. So we've satisfied marketing. Marketing is the activity, the set and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have values for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. We create an article, it gets distributed, the local newspaper picks it up, they print it online, it gives us a link. We get a link back to my client's website, we get authority, we help us, we get higher search rankings. That's SEO. That's marketing. That is manual link building. Why our industry says and has to say why manual link building will never go obsolete, will never be obsolete, it's beyond me. Our industry should be saying, I'm sorry, we fucked up, and manual link building should not exist. You guys are really marketers, and this is why you're going to continue to get links to your site and why Google will always look at it. I mean, pardon my language, guys. Feel free to opt out of my list. You won't get verbal language like that through email, though. All right. Dun, 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 dun. And that's about all I have to say today.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for our free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.